Hello students and namaste everyone. I am Dhaval sir and our today's topic is your supplementary reader chapter number 3, The Midnight Visitor by Robert Arthur. So basically the main character of this chapter is Ausable, who is a secret agent, right, or a detective. So he is a person uh, who breaks the stereotype of a secret agent. That means whenever we talk about a secret agent or a detective, the kind of picture which comes to our mind is a person like James Bond, right? You might have heard about James Bond 007, who is wearing a black color coat, who is wearing goggles, who is wearing hat, and who is having an extremely nice personality, right? So that kind of person is imagined by us when we think about a detective, right? But Ausable defies this stereotype. That means when we see Ausable, he doesn't look or he doesn't possess any of these qualities, right? Because Ausable was a person who was a fat fellow having short height and he was having a thick voice. Okay, so in this story, we are going to study about Ausable, who was a very witty fellow. He was very intelligent enough. He was going to get an important report, right? Which was very important for him. So, a person is there, a writer, a young writer is there in the chapter who wants to get inspiration from Ausable, right? He has never met Ausable, but he wants to write his next story or a novel, and for which he needed inspiration, and for that reason he visits Ausable, right, to get information about detective or how they work. But when he meets Ausable, he gets disappointed, the young writer. Why? Because what he had imagined about the detective or a secret agent, uh, and when he met Ausable, it was totally different, right? Ausable was a totally different person. He didn't look like a detective, right? But the main thrill comes when Ausable and the young writer, right, they visit the hotel room where Ausable was staying, right? So when they visit the hotel room, before they visit or before they enter the room, already there was an intruder in the room. An intruder means a person who has entered the building or a room without permission, right? So he was another secret agent, right? So he actually wanted to take away the important report which the Ausable was going to get. So before Ausable and the young writer had entered the room, hotel room, the intruder was already present in the room, right? So at that time the thrill comes to the young writer, which he had never expected, right? Then what happens, that is, the other agent who wanted the important report from Ausable threatens him, right? But Ausable, he is using his wit, he is using his intelligence, and he makes a story, right? And he, in his story, he talks about a window which was actually not present, right? So he talks about a window that was not present, and he talks about a policeman, right? So the other secret agent, he is getting scared of the policeman, and what he does is he tries to jump out of the window, right? And when he jumps out of the window, he thought there was a balcony as it was described by Ausable in his story, but there was no such balcony outside. So when he jumped out of the window, he directly fell on the ground, and that's the end of the story. Because when that other agent, secret agent, jumps out of the balcony, that is from the window, he fell on the ground and he died on that spot, right? So this is the story how Ausable uses his wit, uses his his mind, and he saves the important report or the document, and he also saves himself from the intruder. Right, so to understand the story in detail, let us begin the chapter and understand it line by line. Okay. Ausable did not fit any description of a secret agent Fowler had ever read. Following him down the musty corridor of the gloomy French hotel. So Fowler is a young reporter, a young writer who wanted to write a story. Okay, so as I said in the beginning itself that Ausable did not fit the description of a secret agent, because whenever we talk about a secret agent, immediately a kind of picture comes, but Ausable did not have such kind of personality. Following him down the musty corridor, right? So here musty means stinky, having bad smell. Stinky corridor of the gloomy French means gloomy means dark French hotel where Ausable had a room. So Ausable was living in a hotel where his room was there, and that passage was stinking, right? Fowler felt let down. That means, as I said in the introduction, that he was disappointed because the personality of Ausable didn't match with what the young writer had thought about. It was a small room on the sixth and top floor, and scarcely a setting for a romantic adventure. Right? That means the room was not very spacious. Ausable was, for one thing, fat, very fat, and then there was his accent. Though he spoke French and German passably, right? So, though he spoke French and German, he had never altogether lost the American accent. That means, though he spoke the other languages, but still he had the American accent. Now, what is accent? Accent is the way or the style of speaking, right? So, he had American accent. He had brought to Paris from Boston 20 years ago. That means, when he came from Boston, right? So, he was earlier staying at that place. So, from there, he had got that kind of accent. You are disappointed, Ausable said, wheezily over his shoulder. You were told that I was a secret agent, a spy, dealing in espionage and danger. You wished to meet me because you are a writer, young and romantic. You envisioned mysterious figures in the night, the crack of pistols, drugs in the wine. Right, so this is the paragraph which is spoken by Ausable. What Ausable is saying? You are disappointed. Ausable said wheezily. Right, so wheezily means in a clever manner. Okay, so wheezily means a clever idea or a joke. So over his shoulder, that means he is keeping his hands over the shoulder of the young writer. You were told that I was a secret agent, a spy, dealing in espionage. Right, so espionage means spying, the work of doing spying. Spy means, you know, a secret agent who does the thing secretly and does the reporting to the person for whom he is working. Okay, you wish to meet me because you are a writer, young and romantic. You envisioned mysterious figures in the night. Right, so envision means imagine. That means when I was told about you, you might have imagined all these things, right? The crack of pistols, drugs in the wine. So Ausable is saying that you might have thought that all these things might be seen by you when you will meet me, and as you are not able to see all these things, you might be disappointed. Instead, you have spent a dull evening in a French music hall with a sloppy fat man who, instead of having messages slipped into his hand by dark-eyed beauties, gets only a prosaic telephone call making an appointment in his room. Right, so we have seen the secret agents and the spies in the movies. Right, they go to clubs and some beautiful ladies, they secretly come near them, they pass on a chit. Right, in that chit there is a message. So such kind of personalities are seen in the movies of a spy or a detective. but nothing as such was there when this young writer met Ausable. Okay, you have been bored. The fat man chuckled to himself as he unlocked the door of his room and stood aside to let his frustrated guest enter. Right, so chuckled means to laugh in a quiet way, like this. Right, so that is chuckled. So what happened? Ausable knew that this young writer might be expecting something different, a secret agent having different kind of means different kind of personality, but he knew that he was not like that those similar secret agents. So he is saying all these wordings to the writer, and they are going to the hotel room where Ausable was staying, right? And they enter the room. You are disillusioned, Ausable told him, right? So disillusion means disappointed or dissatisfied. But take cheer, my young friend. Presently, you will see a paper, a quite important paper for which several men and women have risked their lives. Come to me. That means Ausable is saying to the young writer that don't worry, within some time I am going to get a report or a file or a paper which is very very important and secret, right, for which many people they have risked their life. Okay, someday soon that paper may well affect the course of history. In that thought is drama, is there not? That means he is trying to say that these papers are so important that it will change the history, right? So such is the importance of those paper, and the thought of getting those paper which are so secret and so important, right, so is very interesting. So he is asking the young writer, isn't it? As he spoke, Ausable closed the door behind him, then he switched on the light. Right, so now they have entered the room and Ausable is switching on the light. And as the light came on, Fowler had his first authentic thrill of the day. For halfway across the room, a small automatic pistol in his hand stood a man. Right, so now what is happening? As the light is on, right, Fowler means the young writer, right, he was very disappointed, but as the light comes on, he is getting his first thrill, right? So he is getting very much thrilled, because when they see around, when the light was on, there was a person who was having a pistol in his hand. Okay, Ausable blinked a few times, right? That means Ausable was also surprised. Max, he whizzed. That means Ausable knew that person, and the other secret agent who was having pistol in his hand was Max. You gave me quite a start. You gave me quite a start means you surprised me, right? I thought you were in Berlin. What are you doing here in my room? So these are the words Ausable is asking to Max. Max was slender, a little less than tall, with features that suggested slightly the crafty, pointed countenance of fox. So here is the description about Max, that Max was slender. Slender means thin. A little less than tall. That means he was not very tall also and not very short also. With features that suggested slightly the crafty, pointed countenance of fox. So countenance means a person's face or facial expression, right? Crafty means clever. That means he looked clever, but in a deceptive way, in a dishonest way, right? Many people, they have a personality, they are very intelligent looking, but they are not honest enough. Means when we look at them, they look deceptive or dishonest, right? So such was the personality of Max. Okay, there was about him, aside from the gun, nothing especially menacing. So menacing means threatening. That means Max had a personality which was not at all threatening, right? He was also a spy, a detective, but the only thing which frightened was the gun in his hand, the pistol, nothing else. The report, he murmured, "The report that is being brought to you tonight concerning some new missiles, I thought I would take it from you. It will be safer in my hands than in yours." So these are the words by Max to Ausable. What Max is saying, that you are going to get a secret report in which there is a discussion about missiles, and I think that those papers will be more safe with me. That means ultimately is trying to say that I will get the file. I don't want that file to be with you. I want that file and I'll get it from you. Ausable moved to an armchair. See, this is the intelligence and the boldness of Ausable. Though there was a pistol in the hands of Max, then to Ausable was very calm and relaxed. So what he is doing, he is going to the armchair. Right, so what is armchair? You can see in the picture over here, it is given. Right, there is an armchair between the 2 or 3 persons, right? Fine, we'll move further. So Ausable moved to an armchair and sat down heavily. "I am going to raise the devil with the management this time," right? So now the story comes, the witty story, right? Where Ausable makes a story to deceive Max. That means he was trying to make fool of Max by making his own story so that he can protect or save himself. So what story is making, we'll see. Ausable moved to an armchair and sat down heavily, and what he's saying, "I am going to raise the devil with the management this time." That means I am going to fight with the management, "and you can bet on it," he said grimly. Right, so grimly means causing feelings of sadness or worry. Right, means he was showing a kind of feeling that he was not at all happy, he was sad. Okay, devil means evil spirit. So what he is saying, "This is the second time in a month that somebody has got into my room through that nuisance of a balcony." That means he is making the story that I am going to fight with the management, as in the same month it is for the second time when some person has come in my room through the balcony without my permission. Fowler's eyes went to the single window of the room. It was an ordinary window, against which now the night was pressing blackly. So blackly means through that window, in the whole room there was only a single window, and through that window nothing could be seen because it was the night time and it was totally dark over there. "Balcony?" Max said with a rising inflection. That means he was surprised. "No, a passkey. I did not know about the balcony." So Max is saying that I did not knew that there is a balcony and from there also I could come. Right. What he is saying, that I had a passkey. Passkey is a kind of a key, a master key, which can open any doors or anything. Right. So what Max is saying, that no, I did not come from the balcony. I didn't knew about the balcony. So I came from the room through with the help of the passkey. Right, I did not know about the balcony. I might have saved. It might have saved me some trouble had I known. That means what he is trying to say is that coming through the door with the passkey was very risky. But if I knew about the balcony in the earlier, then I would have come from the balcony itself, which was a safer option than coming through the door. "It's not my balcony," Ausable said with extreme irritation. So what Ausable is saying, that balcony is not belonging to me. That means it is not the balcony of my room. Okay. "It belongs to the next apartment." That means the next room to his room. He glanced explanatorily at Fowler. Fowler is a young writer. "You see," he said, "this room used to be a part of a large unit, and the next room through that door there used to be the living room. It had the balcony which extends under my window now." So what he is trying to explain, that this room was actually a big unit. That means it was a very big room like a hall, and now it is divided into different rooms, right? And actually that balcony belonged to that big unit or a big hall, but now as the parts are made, right? That balcony belongs to the other room, and still that balcony is attached with his room, and so he is giving the description about that balcony. You can get onto it from the empty room 2 doors down, and somebody did last month. The management promised to block it off, but they haven't. So what is saying that through that balcony anyone can come in this room, and for that he had already complained, but the management did not promise, means what they had promised they didn't do. They didn't block this balcony. Max glanced at the Fowler, who was standing stiffly not far from Ossibel, and waved the gun with a commanding gesture. Please sit down. That means Max is ordering. Please sit down, he said. We have a wait of half an hour, I think. That means Max is saying that I think that the reports will come in half an hour, and so till half an hour we need to wait for it. So he is ordering them to sit down. 31 minutes, Ossibel said moodily. That means he was trying to make fun, and he said 31 minutes, right? The appointment was for 12:30. I wish I knew how you learned about the report. That means Ossibel is saying that I wished I knew that how you came to know that I am going to get this report at this time. Max, the little spy smiled evilly. That means Max was smiling in an evil manner, because it was a secret how he came to know about the report, what Ossibel was going to get. Okay? And we wish we knew how you people got the report, but no harm has been done. I will get it back tonight. What is that? Who is at the door? Right, so Ossibel is saying these words. Fowler jumped at the sudden knocking at the door. Right, so this serious situation is going on. There is a pistol in the hands of the Max. He is ordering Fowler to sit down, and Max Ossibel is already sitting. And in this serious situation, someone is coming and knocking the door. Okay. So Ossibel just smiled. Right, Fowler was very much thrilled and surprised, and he was afraid, but Ossibel is smiling. That will be police, he said. What Ossibel is saying, that might be police outside the door. I thought that such an important paper as the one we are waiting for should have a little extra protection. So he's trying to say that I knew that these papers are very important, and therefore I have already informed the police about it, and for that, for the protection of these papers, the police is standing outside. I told them to check on me to make sure everything was alright. Max bit his lips nervously. That means by hearing this, the Max was very nervous. The knocking was repeated. That means as the door did not open, the knocking continuously kept on happening. What will you do now? Max Ossibel asked. Right, so Ossibel is asking Max that now what you will do as the police is outside. If I don't answer the door, they will enter anyway. The door is unlocked, and they will not hesitate to shoot. Right, so this is what the story Ossibel is making. Right, and Max's face was black with anger as he backed swiftly towards the window. Now what happened, as the Max came to know that there was a police outside the door from Ossibel, he was very much angry. Right, he swung a leg over the sill. Now sill means the frame of the window. Okay, so this is the window. One leg is this side, and another leg he had kept on the frame, and it was lying on the window outside the other side. Okay, send them away, he warned. So Max was warning Ossibel that you send away the police back. I will wait on the balcony. Send them away, or I will shoot and take my chances. So what he is doing, he is very much afraid and scared. So therefore he is saying Ossibel that you send them away, and I am waiting in the balcony. Right. So this is the suspense in the story, because actually there was no balcony outside the window. The knocking at the door became louder. That means as the door was not opened, continuous and loud knocking started happening. And a voice was raised, Mr. Ossible, Mr. Ossible. Right, so the Max got more afraid. Right, in the picture you can see the Max is keeping one of his leg outside the window, right, which is known as sill, keeping his body twisted so that his gun still covered the fat man and his guest. The man at the window grasped the frame with his free hand to support himself. Right, so with one hand he was holding the window, and with the other hand he was pointing Ossible and Fowler. Then he swung his another leg up and over the window sill. The doorknob turned. That means the window was, or the door was unlocked, and now after knocking so many times, as the door was not opened, it turned like this. Okay. Max pushed with his left hand to free himself from the sill and dropped to the balcony. That means he also took away the other leg outside, and he tried to get on the balcony. And then as he dropped, he screamed once shrilly. That means a kind of noise like ah, right, only once a kind of noise came, that is shrilly. Okay, the door opened and a waiter stood there with a tray. That means as the door opened, actually it was expected by Max that there was a policeman outside, but in real sense actually it was the waiter, not the policeman, right? Because it was a story which was wittily made by Ossible to threaten Max, and he got trapped in that story, and he jumped out of the window where actually there was no balcony, and just he fell on the ground and died on the spot. Okay, so when the door opened, the waiter came in, right, and in his hand was a tray, a bottle and two glasses. Here is the drink you ordered for when you returned, he said, and set the tray on the table. Deftly uncorked the bottle and left the room. That means he opened the bottle cleverly, deftly means cleverly, and he kept it on the table and he went away. White-faced Fowler started after him, but he stammered the police. Right, so stammered means to speak with many pauses and repetitions, because we have a problem in the speech, right? So what is happening? The Fowler was very much afraid and nervous, right? So what is given? White-faced Fowler stared after him, but he stammered the police. That means he was trying to ask Ossible that where is the police, right? You were talking about the police, that the police are standing outside the door, but where is the police, right? So he was trying to ask that. There were no police, Ossible sighed. That means only Henry, whom I was expecting. That means Henry means the waiter who was expected by Ossible. But won't that man out on the balcony? Fowler began. That means Fowler is still expecting that Max is standing outside the balcony, and so he is very much worried, and he is trying to ask that won't that person, that is Max, kill us or again come in and threaten us as there is no policeman, right? No, said Ossible, he won't return. You see, my young friend, there is no balcony. So Ossible is saying that no, now there are no chances of him to return, because he has already jumped out of the window where there is actually no balcony, and therefore that person Max has already fell down on the ground and he is already dead. So this is how the Ossible, who was a secret agent or a detective and who was a very witty person, he was a very intelligent person, makes fool of the Max and tries to save himself as well as Fowler and the documents which he was going to get. So that is the end of the story, right? I thank you everyone for watching my video.